Hello everyone. Do you all know the most amazing thing about living system? That is, it is made up of non-living atoms or molecules. So the study of chemistry of living system or living species is called as biochemistry. I, Priyanka Rajaram from Vidyashram PU College shall introduce you all to a small topic from biochemistry called as biomolecules. It is the 14th chapter in your second PU syllabus. What are biomolecules? These are complex organic molecules which build the living system, maintains its growth and reproduction. Some of the biomolecules which you might have heard as well are proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids, vitamins and hormones. So in this unit, we shall study about the structure and function about some of the biomolecules. Before that, we shall look into the weightage of this chapter. Here, the total weightage of this chapter is 6 marks. You can expect one question from part A and one question from part D carrying 5 marks. That is question number 36. So, next we'll go into the first topic of biomolecules, that is carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates? It is the most essential component of food. The carbohydrates are produced by plants, in the process of photosynthesis. Correct? What are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are produced by plants in the process of photosynthesis. These are molecules which contain carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. The definition of carbohydrates goes like this. It is optically active polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketone or compounds which produce such units on hydrolysis. What does this mean? Optically active. That means they can rotate the plane polarized light clockwise or anti-clockwise direction, based on which we can tell them they are dextrorotatory or levorotatory. So carbohydrates are optically active. Polyhydroxyaldehydes. Polyhydroxy means they have many OH groups. Aldehyde means it has got CHO group, or ketones, which means it can have ketone group. So they are optically active, polyhydroxy, many hydroxy groups, aldehydes or polyhydroxy ketones, or it can be compounds which on hydrolysis will give such units. Carbohydrates is also called as saccharides. Saccharon means sugar. They are also called as saccharides. Next, we'll see the classification. Carbohydrates are classified as monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. Further, oligosaccharides can be classified as disaccharides, trisaccharides and tetrasaccharides. So we'll go into the details of this classification. Carbohydrates are classified based on their hydrolysis property as monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. What are monosaccharides? These are polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones which cannot be further hydrolyzed. They are the simplest unit of a carbohydrate. Example, glucose, fructose, ribose, etc. Further, it can be also classified as aldoses and ketosis. Aldoses contain aldehyde as their functional group and ketosis contain ketone as their functional group. Okay, that is about monosaccharides. Next is oligosaccharides. A carbohydrate on hydrolysis, if it gives 2 to 10 monosaccharide units, we call them as oligosaccharides. If the carbohydrate on hydrolysis gives 2 monosaccharide units, we call them as disaccharides. If it gives 3 monosaccharide units, we call them as trisaccharides. If it gives 4 monosaccharide units, we call them as tetrasaccharides. Examples, sucrose, lactose, maltose, etc. Okay. In our syllabus, we will be learning in detail only about the disaccharides. Okay. Next is polysaccharides. If a carbohydrate on hydrolysis gives large number of monosaccharide units, we call them as polysaccharides. Example, starch, cellulose, glycogen, etc. Okay. So the next classification is based on the taste and solubility in water, that is sugars and non-sugars. Sugars are crystalline solids which is soluble in water and it is sweet to taste. Example, glucose, fructose, also the sugar which we use at home, that is sucrose, etc. Non-sugars, okay, as the name goes, they are tasteless, okay, they are not sweet to taste. They are amorphous solids, thus insoluble in water. Example, starch or glycogen. Okay. Next, based on their reducing property, we can tell sugars are of two types: reducing sugars, non-reducing sugars. Reducing sugars are those which can reduce Felling's or Tollens reagent. They have free aldehydic or ketonic group. So the free aldehydic and ketonic group which is present can reduce Felling's and Tollens reagent. So Felling's and Tollens reagent, what is it and what is the reaction there which is happening? You will be learning in the chapter aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids in detail. Okay. Examples for reducing sugars, we can give glucose, fructose, galactose, etc. Non-reducing sugar, they do not reduce Felling solution or Tollens reagent. They do not have free aldehydic or ketonic group. Example, sucrose. Okay. Next is the detailed study of a monosaccharide, glucose. Okay. Glucose, how can you prepare them? There are two methods of preparation of glucose. First one from sucrose, that is cane sugar. Okay. When sucrose has a formula C12H22O11, which on acid hydrolysis or in the presence of dilute HCl or H2SO4, when it is boiled, we will get glucose and fructose. Glucose and fructose have same molecular formula C6H12O6, but structurally they are different. We will be learning detail about glucose and fructose. Okay. The second method is from starch. Okay. Starch has a formula C6H10O5 n number of times. Because it's a polysaccharide, n can be any number above 10. Okay. N can be 50, 100, etc. It's a polysaccharide. Starch is made up of large number of monosaccharide units. Okay. So which, if you take starch and when it is boiled with dilute H2SO4 at 393 Kelvin, 2 to 3 atmospheric pressure, we get glucose. Okay. This is the commercial method of preparation of glucose. Next is structure of glucose. Glucose is a aldohexoses and it's also known as dextrose. Aldohexoses. Hexoses means it contains 6 carbon atom, and aldo word tells us that it contains aldehyde as its functional group. It is also known as dextrose because it is dextrorotatory. Okay, it is dextrorotatory. It will rotate the plane polarized light towards the clockwise direction. Okay, that's why it's also known as dextrose. Now, glucose is also called as grape sugar because ripe grapes contains 20% of glucose. Hence, it is also called as grape sugar. Now, the molecular formula was found to be C6H12O6. But what is the structure of glucose wasn't known. Fischer is the one who has given the structure of glucose. How did he elucidate the structure of glucose? We shall learn. So, there are some reactions, okay, which tells us that glucose has all the 6 carbon atom in the straight chain. It has got aldehyde as a functional group. It has got 5 OH groups, and also there is one OH group in the primary carbon atom. Okay. So, how did they actually elucidate the structure? The first reaction is the glucose molecule was heated with hydrogen iodide in the presence of red phosphorus. They got the product as N-hexane. N means it is straight chain. 6 carbon atoms are linked in the straight chain. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 carbon atoms, and it's an alkane, so it is hexane. As it is in the straight chain, we use the letter N. Okay. What does this reaction predict? This reaction predicted that all the 6 carbon atoms in glucose are present in the straight chain. If the product was something else, if the product here was some branched alkane, then it would have told us that it is not present in the straight chain. But what did we get? When glucose was heated with hydrogen iodide in the presence of red phosphorus, we got N-hexane. It predicted that 6 carbon atoms are linked in the straight chain. This was the first test. Next is glucose was reacted with hydroxylamine. Okay. Glucose, we are representing glucose this way. You can see one CHO group, 1 carbon atom, 4 CHOH groups are there. Okay, so 4 plus 1, 5, and this is the 6th one, CH2OH. So glucose was reacted with hydroxylamine, NH2OH. Then it will form oxime, glucose oxime. Okay, what is this oxime? Here there is H2O. It is a condensation reaction where water molecule was removed. You can see you have it, aldehyde group is present this way. Okay, this is CHOH 4 times and you have CH2OH, correct? Here what happens here is hydrogen with oxygen is removed and instead of that we have N and OH coming. Okay, so that's why there is a double bond which is shown here. So this is an oxime which is formed. One more reaction was done. Glucose was treated with hydrogen cyanide. You get cyanohydrin. Cyanohydrin, where the double bond was broken, that is CH, you have a double bond here. This double bond was broken. From the hydrogen cyanide, hydrogen came to oxygen and there was one more bond which is formed with cyanide. That is why we get this. Okay. So, what did this reaction predict? This reaction predicted that the glucose molecule has a carbonyl group. The carbonyl group is present in aldehydes, ketones, carboxylic acids, etc. This reaction just told there is a carbonyl group, but which exact functional group is present, we did not get to know. That we understood only when glucose was treated with bromine water. When glucose was treated with bromine water, the product was gluconic acid. You can see aldehyde group got converted to acid group. So we know that aldehydes, when it is treated with a mild or strong oxidizing agent, it will get converted to carboxylic acid. Correct? So that is how this reaction told us that the carbonyl group present in glucose is of aldehyde. Okay? So the first reaction told us that all the 6 carbon atoms of glucose are present in straight chain. The second reaction told us that there is an carbonyl group which is present in glucose. The third reaction predicted that the carbonyl group which is present in glucose is of an aldehyde. Okay, there are 2 more reactions. That is, next one, acetylation. When glucose was treated with acetic anhydride, right, it gives glucose pentaacetate. You can see the OH groups are substituted with COOCH3. Okay, that to how many? 4 plus 1. You have 4 here and 1 over here. That's the reason it is glucose pentaacetate. This confirms the presence of 5 OH groups. Okay, and further it did not undergo any hydrolysis. Okay, as it was very stable, it was understood that all the 5 OH groups are attached to 5 different carbon atoms. Okay, it was attached to 5 different carbon atoms. Next is when glucose is treated with nitric acid. Okay, we took glucose, this is glucose, and gluconic acid. Gluconic acid where CHO group is converted to COH group. Okay, both glucose and gluconic acid, when it was treated with nitric acid, it underwent oxidation to give saccharic acid. In saccharic acid, you see the first and the last group both are COOH group. Okay, what does this actually indicate? It indicates a presence of primary alcoholic group. That means there is one OH group which is attached to a primary carbon atom. Okay, so these are the reactions which predicted that glucose have 6 carbon atoms, straight chain. Okay, 6 carbon atoms, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the first reaction with hydrogen iodide. Then the second reaction told us that there is one carbonyl group. Okay, the third reaction told that carbonyl group is of an aldehyde. So it is CHO group. The next reaction told us that there are 5 OH groups present in 5 different carbon atoms. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon atoms. All of these 5 carbon atoms have OH group. Okay, and also one of the reactions told us that it is a OH group is present on the primary carbon atom. See, primary carbon atom, here the remaining places it is hydrogen what is present. I shall just fill it up. Okay, this is a primary carbon atom. Primary carbon atom means it has got only one carbon neighbor. Okay, the OH group is attached to a carbon atom which has got one carbon neighbor. We call it as primary carbon atom. Okay, so this was the structure which was elucidated by using those reactions. Here you have to observe one more thing. See, OH groups are not present only on the right side. Okay, how I have written? The first carbon atom, it is aldehyde group. The second, fourth and fifth carbon atom, the OH group is always on the right side, and the third carbon atom, it is on the left side. Okay, this was actually predicted by Fischer. Okay, we do not have all the reactions which was done by Fischer to give the exact structure. You need to know the glucose has the following structure, in which we have 6 carbon atoms. First one is CHO group. The second, third, fourth, fifth are CH-OH groups, in which third carbon atom OH is to the left, the other carbon atoms OH is to the right, and the last one is CH2OH. Okay, so that is about the structure of glucose. Now, how is glucose correctly named? It is written as D plus glucose. What does this D stand for? D represents the relative configuration of particular stereoisomer. I shall explain this in the next slide. What does this plus stand for? Plus is representing that it is dextrorotatory in nature. That is, it will turn the plane polarized light in clockwise direction. Okay. See, D and L, what we write here, D, or it can also be written as L. These letters what we write, it is not related to the optical activity of a molecule. Okay, it is not related to the optical activity of the molecule. Then what is it related to? The meaning of DL and L notation is as follows. Now, in glyceraldehyde molecule, there are 2 stereoisomers, and glyceraldehyde contains a chiral carbon atom. See, this junction what is there, it represents a carbon atom. Okay, we need not write C over there. The junction whatever is there, it is understood it is a carbon atom. So in this one, when you are writing the OH group to the right, okay, to your right, if you write, then it is D plus glyceraldehyde. If you are writing to the left, okay, if you are writing the OH group to your left, then it is L minus glyceraldehyde. Okay, now this glyceraldehyde, okay, this is called as D form, and this is called as the L form. The one which is levorotatory, we call it as the L form, where it is written to the left side. Okay, please remember, L form is levorotatory, written to the OH group of the chiral carbon atom is to the left. That's how it is easy to remember, otherwise you can get confused. In D plus glyceraldehyde, which is dextrorotatory, okay, plus form, the chiral carbon atom you are writing towards your right side. Okay, if you compare this part of the glyceraldehyde, okay, and the last 2 carbon atoms of glucose, which matches, correct? No, the OH group I told you, it is to your right side, and only the third carbon atom it is written to the left side. So here you see carbon, carbon, OH, H and OH, H and OH, CH2OH, CH2OH. So the last 2 carbon atoms of glucose is matching with D-glyceraldehyde, D plus glyceraldehyde, hence we write it as D. If any carbohydrate, the last 2 carbon atom or the chiral carbon atom, this, okay, this is the chiral carbon atom, okay, of glucose, or any carbohydrate chiral carbon atom you are taking, and you are comparing it with the D and L form of glyceraldehyde. If it matches with D-glyceraldehyde, you write it as D. If it matches with L-glyceraldehyde, then you write it as L. Am I clear? So again, the letter D and L before the name of any compound refers to a relation with a particular isomer of glyceraldehyde. Glyceraldehyde contains one asymmetric carbon atom, that is also called as chiral carbon atom, which exists in 2 forms, okay, and all those compounds that chemically correlate to plus isomer of glyceraldehyde is told to have D configuration, and if it has correlated to minus isomer of glyceraldehyde, it is called as L configuration. Glucose, the chiral carbon atom, the last one which we have is related, the last chiral carbon atom, last 2 you have to see of glucose, okay, it is, when we compare it with glyceraldehyde, it is matching with the plus form of glyceraldehyde, that's why we write D in the name of glucose, okay. Further, we will see in the next class about Hayward structure of glucose, Hayward structure of fructose, disaccharide and polysaccharides. In polysaccharides, only starch we will learn in the next class. So I hope you have understood what are biomolecules, what are carbohydrates, what is its classification, as well as elucidation of structure of glucose. Okay, so stay tuned. Thank you, my dear children.